Tonight on EKB Evening News at 6, local governments will get some help after February's storms. Good evening. I'm Cindy Mae Johnson.
And I'm Gary Sloan. President Barack Obama has declared Kentucky a disaster area due to heavy rains and snows, flooding, mudslides, and landslides that occurred February 15th through the 22nd. EKB News reporter Shelby Steele spoke with leaders in Pike County about what they expect to happen next.
The president has signed a disaster declaration paving the way for federal disaster aid to be made available to the Commonwealth of Kentucky to supplement local recovery efforts for those affected by the severe winter storms during the period of February 15th through 22nd. Pikeville Public Safety Director Paul Maynard says any little bit will help.
Obviously, we were under a state of emergency in February, us along with Pike County, and then the Commonwealth followed us by going into the state of emergency, which led to us applying for a FEMA declaration, which has been granted as of yesterday. And it's a great thing for us because we did have quite a bit of damage during the February storm, so obviously any assistance we can get will be greatly appreciated.
Pike County Emergency Management Director Doug Tackett says hopefully all money can go where it's needed.
The counties will be able to recoup some of the monies they've spent on snow removal for February for the big snowstorm, and also some of the landslides where they had to clear debris and things from roadways. They'll help recoup a lot of that cost.
Tackett says even though it was declared that money is available, it's still unclear how much will be available.
Really, all the information we've got is what we've seen so far from the media reports, the press releases that were done by FEMA. We're still waiting on the official words to come through Frankfurt to us.
Maynard adds that any help for something unexpected is beneficial.
Anytime you have a disaster, they're not planned for. These things, they pop up, and obviously it puts a financial strain on local government, on county government, on state government. So anytime FEMA can come in and assist us, it's so greatly appreciated because it will help offset that cost, because those costs are just not planned for.
There's still no word on whether money will become available for the severe weather that occurred during the months of March and April. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shelby Steele.
In addition to Pike County, 26 other counties were included in the declaration, including Floyd, Knott, and Letcher counties.
A new tenant is headed to an industrial development area off Route 119 between Pikeville and South Williamson. Scotts Fork was developed as fill land when 119 was being constructed. It's currently home to EQT Corporation's regional offices. During the Pike County Fiscal Court meeting Thursday evening, a resolution was adopted authorizing Judge Executive Bill Deskins to sign a lease for property located along Scotts Fork. Assistant Pike County Attorney John Doug Hayes says this is an opportunity for several employers within the next few years.
It's not going to happen immediately. Nobody will be going applying for a job tomorrow, but hopefully, 3, 4, 5 years, the sooner the better. As the world economy starts to turn around and some of the resources that are going to come together in this development, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing for our children and grandchildren.
Harrison Group Headquarters, a mineral and property company, will start construction of 2 buildings after signing a lease with the county. All costs will be paid by the company, not the county. Harrison Group has 2 years to build a 7,000 square foot office building and 8 years to complete construction of a 10,000 square foot warehouse building.
Pike County Judge Executive Bill Deskins proposed a $34.7 million county budget during a special meeting of the fiscal court last night. The proposal calls for spending $10 million in the general fund, $7.3 million in the road fund, $6.2 million in the solid waste fund, and $4.8 million in the jail fund. Magistrates now have until June 1st to review the proposal and make changes, at which time they must pass a first reading of the ordinance.
A Prestonsburg man is dead following an accident while working on the Canadian Pacific Railroad in the northern part of the state. 20-year-old James C. Campbell was operating an ATV on the work site when a magnetic boom used to move metal railroad spikes spun out of control. Campbell was thrown from the ATV and suffered a head injury. The accident remains under investigation. Coming up, we'll have more of our interview with the newly named president of Big Sandy Community and Technical College.
And we'll take a look back at last night's Taste of the World dinner hosted by Pikeville Rotary Club. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Last night, the Pikeville Rotary Club held its annual Taste of the World International Dinner. The event is the club's largest fundraiser every year and one of the most popular. EKB News reporter Courtney Lovern was there and filed this report.
Yesterday evening, the Pikeville Gym played host to a wide assortment of international foods on behalf of the Pikeville Rotary Club. The dinner served as a fundraiser for the Rotary Club, and the money goes towards those who need it most.
The purpose of this event is for us to raise money in order to be able to give money back to the community. We usually do things like donate money to Coats for Kids, Habitat, Judy's Place, Red Cross, Food Pantry, Homeless Shelter, so many other different things that we do.
The food at the event represented 12 cultures ranging from German desserts to Chinese cooking. Even local cuisine was represented on a table simply called Hillbilly Food. This is the 9th year the event has been held. Over that time, it has made impactful monetary strides.
The first year, I think we raised close to $10,000. We had a lot of sponsorships. It was a big event, and it has continued to grow over years. We are prepared for a seating arrangement for 200 people. And we will get anywhere from, I would say we'll get between 200 and 250 people because not everybody stays for the entire 2 hours.
A flash mob was also orchestrated by Jenny Wiley Theater to give attention to their latest production, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, giving the guests some entertainment to go with their diverse meals. Reporting for EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Courtney Lovren.
Last night, we shared with you part of our interview with Dr. G. Devin Stevenson, the incoming president of Big Sandy Community and Technical College. Tonight, we continue that conversation. Dr. Stevenson's nearly 40 years of higher education experience have been spent in schools similar to size of Big Sandy, in communities that share common problems. He tells us that those things have prepared him to lead students in Eastern Kentucky.
The size is very comfortable. The multi-campus dynamics is very comfortable for me. And the rural challenges, high unemployment, those things, I look at those things as opportunities and possibilities and not problems. And so that's our approach. We're going to be an institution that has the default of yes, a default that looks for opportunities. I believe good leaders see possibilities before they become obvious to others. And so that's what we're going to do. Every morning we're going to wake up looking at possibilities and opportunities.
Dr. Stevenson, who is a community college graduate himself, will begin his new job June 1st.
Each year, the Pike County Sheriff's Office hosts a county-wide roadblock to raise money for underprivileged children to attend the Kentucky Sheriff's Boys and Girls Ranch in the summer. Tomorrow, from 10 until 4, officers will be at all major intersections in Pike County. Sheriff Rodney Scott says it's all for a great cause.
It's a camp for 8 to 11-year-olds, and the way they are chosen is the family resource director at the schools, choose. It's for underprivileged kids that may not, get to have vacation or learn how to do things. They teach them how to swim, horseback ride, archery, arts and crafts, and, it's just something for the kids to enjoy.
Now, the Pike County school system provides a bus for transportation. The sheriff's office provides the driver, fuel, and food. If you're not out and about on Saturday but would care to contribute, you can send your check to the Pike County Sheriff's Office, P.O. Box 839, Pikeville, Kentucky 41502.
Over the course of the spring semester, the University of Pikeville Concert Choir has been busy preparing for its annual spring concert. Last night, the event was held at Chrisman Auditorium on the campus of UPike, and it was orchestrated by UPike professor Janine Friedman.
They have spent the semester learning the literature, learning all of the notes, and everything culminates for them in performance. Rather than taking a written exam, they get to have the fun and the joy of being in front of an audience and performing for them. I think that was very special about our performance. We were able to give the world premiere performance of an arrangement of a Peruvian piece from the Baroque era, and the title of it is Hanak Pachap Husiquinin, and it is a piece that is in the indigenous language of Peru.
The show was packed house, and Freeman considered it a success.
Coming up, the NFL draft began last night. It was a pretty big night for one Kentucky Wildcat. Jamie Johnson will be here to tell us more.
But first, EKB Chief Meteorologist Lathan Hopkins will be in to tell us what our weekend weather forecast will be like. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
You know, I'm pretty excited about the weekend Lathan's been promising, and after today, I'm even more excited.
Just wait until you see the 5-day forecast, something that we've not had on there in quite some time, a nice long stretch of dry weather. I'll show you that here in just a little bit. Of course, we did have the showers earlier today. Doppler radar showing that those have finally moved out, and as a matter of fact, starting to see a few breaks in the cloud cover as well, and thankfully so. Temperatures are responding to those sunny skies. We're actually beginning to get out of the 50s. We stayed into the 50s all day thanks to the showers and the cloud cover. And I'll show you those here in just a second. Officially at the National Weather Service office in Jackson, we went down at 61 degrees. That was before 4 o'clock. We're actually a little bit above that now. 43 the official low. Now normally 72 and 51 is where we should be. We'll be very close to that during the day tomorrow. Sunrise in the morning early at 6:34. Sunset at 8:20. The days keep getting longer and longer. Now let's talk a little bit about April. I promised you yesterday we'd take a look back. Normally we should see about less than 4 inches of rainfall. The old record back in 2011, 10.2 inches of rain. Well, last month, 10.29, new record, nearly 6.5 inches of rain above average for the month. So here we go, new record set over at the National Weather Service office in Jackson. Talked about the temperatures finally beginning to warm up. Still in the 50s where the clouds are holding tough. 64 in Pikeville, 65 Prestonsburg, Paintsville, 64 in Inez, 63 right now in Salyers.ville. We're broadening the picture with the temperature map because we want to talk more about the warmer air moving in. And that's what you can see. See all the orange showing up right in the middle part of the country. That's temperatures at least 70 degrees. The reds, once you get to parts of Texas, Dallas at 80 degrees. Notice what happens by tomorrow afternoon. Notice the 80s go a little farther to the north, nearing the U.S.-Canada border. The 70s move off to the east, and by the time we work our way into the day on Sunday, holy moly, some of those 80s getting kind of close to the east coast of the U.S., stretching from near St. Louis all the way down Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, southern parts of those states, well into the 80s. As a matter of fact, those 80s will be knocking on our doorstep very, very soon. I'll show you that here in just a second. Pollen count time, sponsored by Faith Pharmacy, Adams Plaza in Pikeville. 9.6, ouch. Back into the high category for tomorrow. 11.3 Sunday, 11.4 on Monday. The cutoff is 12, so we're very close to that as we make our way Sunday into Monday. Look at this 5-day forecast. Sunny Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You get the pattern? 72 degrees on Saturday, 78 Sunday, 80 Monday, 82 Tuesday, 83 Wednesday, and by Thursday, we could be talking mid-80s. Hello.
I like it.
May's coming in and bringing in summer-like temperatures.
And it should be a great weather day for Derby tomorrow.
Big day tomorrow with the Derby. Anyone making plans this weekend, it's going to be perfect.
Great.
Yes, indeed.
Well, the first Saturday in May is Free Comic Book Day, and vendors from all over the world participate, including Page 3's Game Zone in Pikeville. General Manager Nathan Varney says if you've never read a comic or haven't read one in a long time, Free Comic Book Day is an excellent way to get back into the habit.
A way to say, you know what, comic books are a true American art form. It's something that is unique and original to America, to the United States of America, and no other country can say, hey, we introduced comic books. It's like, hey, no, this is actually ours. And it's storytelling and art at the same time, and that was a really beautiful and unique thing.
Well, Page 3's Game Zone will be open tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Only a select few comics will be given away for free.
So, did you read comics as a kid?
Absolutely, Superman.
Yeah, they're not just for kids anymore.
No.
We'll be back with sports in just 2 minutes.
Kentucky. James Harrison is 37 years old. Garvin Jones was the first-round pick, was not.
it's a big weekend in the state of Kentucky.
That it is, the Kentucky Derby coming up, but also it was a big night last night for one Kentucky football player and for the football program in general. For only the 6th time in school history, the Kentucky football program can boast about having a #1 draft choice in the first round of the NFL draft. Senior linebacker Alvin Bud Dupree was chosen last night as the 22nd overall pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dupree racked up 247 tackles while playing for the Wildcats and finished 2nd all-time in sacks. The first-team All-SEC performer joins a long list of pass-rushing linebackers in Steelers history, starting with Greg Lloyd and most recently James Harrison. The Steelers offered high praise for their draft choice and not just for his accolades on the field.
No, he comes, you know, he's a very, I think when you guys meet him, you'll find him to be very humble, not a real talkative guy. He's finishing school this semester. You know, he'll graduate in 4 years. Talked about as a team leader. You go to the University of Kentucky on the stadium, you know, he's those big poster pictures. He's the guy along with Zadarius Smith that, you know, they highlight. And, you know, the day when we were there for the pro day, it was just endless support and praise for this kid. So they really believed that he was their leader. And, you know, they didn't have quite the season that they hoped for, but everybody spoke about this kid in glowing terms.
Baseball, the Cincinnati Reds have embarked on a 3-city, 11-day road trip beginning in Atlanta for a 4-game series with the Braves. Red starting pitcher Mike Leake surrendered only 2 hits to the Braves over 8 innings while delivering a hit to Remember of his own. More on that in just a minute. Game was scoreless heading to the top of the 6th inning when Joey Votto sliced this single to left field. That would score the speedy Billy Hamilton. Votto continues to swing a very heavy bat for Cincinnati. Reds lead 1-0. Top of the 7th. Say hello to my little friend. Tucker Jackson Barnhart, his 2nd home run in as many days. The solo shot off Brave starter Shelby Miller makes it a 2-0 ball game. Reds weren't done. Remember I mentioned Mike Leake delivered a hit you wouldn't want to forget? Well, there it goes. And this one had an in-flight movie. Shelby Miller, let me see your shocked face. Mike Leake, the other pitcher, his 5th career home run, helped the Reds to their 11th win of the season, 5-1 over the Braves. Reds are back in action tonight, 7:35 p.m. start time in Atlanta on Hit City USA 98.1 and 104.3 FM, your home for Reds baseball. Some bad news today, though, for Reds pitcher Homer Bailey. Today, the team announced their $105 million man will undergo season-ending Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. Reds team physician Dr. Timothy Krimchek says this latest setback is unrelated to the right elbow flexor mass that Bailey received surgery for in September. Finally, it's the fastest 2 minutes in sports, the 141st running for the Roses. It's Derby weekend here in Kentucky. This year's favorite is American Pharoah, followed by unbeaten Dortmund. Other names to pay attention to include Carpe Diem and Materiality. Each of the favorites missed the inside starting positions near the rails, which could sometimes compromise a horse at the start of the race. Now, if you're looking for a long shot, keep War Story, Mr. Z, Fragmento, Keen Ice, and Ocho in mind. Each of those horses are a 50-1 shot to win. Now, who won last year's Kentucky Derby? Can you remember?
Yes, the fastest horse.
Oh, yeah, come on. The name of the horse.
I don't know.
California Chrome in a runaway.
Oh, I remember it now because I did not have that horse in my Derby.
That's how you always remember it. It's the one you didn't get, the one that didn't come in.
Exactly.
That's right. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, the good weather continues through the weekend.
And even into next week. Temperatures tonight into the mid-40s, back into the low 70s tomorrow, upper 70s Sunday. And then we say hello to the 80s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, each day. The rain chance very low, so looking pretty nice, at least probably through Thursday of next week, as a matter of fact. Mid-80s.
I'm pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Really excited about the weather. Now, I know you're not a big horse racing fan.
True.
But will you watch the Derby?
I will watch the 2 minutes of it. I probably won't watch the 6-hour pre-race that goes on.
That's the best stuff.
You know, I want to go to it one time. I think everybody should at least go to it. If you live in Kentucky, you should go to it one time.
Got to be on your bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And tonight, big time Western, speaking of horses.
Hey, classic Western night tonight on EKB TV.
Well, that will do it for tonight's EKB Evening News. Remember, you can get more local news anytime by listening to the radio stations of East Kentucky Broadcasting.
And you can follow EKB News and EKB TV on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to leave you tonight with a tribute to Ben E. King. Good night. Thanks for watching.
No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea,